Hello, and thank you for tuning into this episode of Animals and Ames. My name is Ron Edwards. I'm the Animal Control Supervisor for the Ames Animal Shelter and Animal Control Program. Our guest host today is going to be Kathy Pike. You know Kathy, she's done many shows, and I appreciate her stepping in today to show you some felines and one of our guinea pigs available for adoption. So let's meet Kathy and some of our furry friends.
Hi, I'm Kathy Pike. I'm one of the animal control officers here for the city of Ames. And today I have a cat that we call Leafy. This beautiful girl doesn't really want to share the camera spotlight with me, which I can't blame her. She's absolutely beautiful, and so she should have the camera all to herself. She's enjoying our fishbone lounge room where we have our meet and greet for people to come and meet the kitties and the animals to see if they'd like to take them home. So she's, as you see, she kind of wants to climb around. She's actually more of a low energy cat, although you're probably not going to really see that today as she's got time outside of the kennel to just kind of jump around, and she's really enjoying that camera coming closer and closer. She is estimated to be about 2 years of age. She did come in as a stray, and as you can see, she's long hair, very beautiful kitty. She does like to get brushed, although it is on her terms. She's got the typical catitude, where things are more on her terms, on being allowed to do anything. But a very sweet girl for the majority of, she is front declawed. So we did not declaw her here, but whoever had her before did have her front claws taken out. It's not a procedure that we would recommend, but that has been done to her. So if somebody is looking for a declawed cat, we would say to check out Leafy. Like I said, she's about 2. She has been spayed. That is a requirement before animals are adopted. She does have all of her vaccinations, as well as a microchip, and been dewormed. That happens to all of our cats when they come in here if it hasn't already been done. We do require for her applicant that wants to adopt to have some prior pet owning experience, just because she does have a little bit of that catitude that I talked about, where things are on her terms. So being able to read the body language and listen to her vocalizations to know when enough is enough, and to leave her be. Unfortunately, with some of that catitude that she has, there is no kids, just because it is a bit harder to understand when she's saying no for kids. No dogs. She's not a fan of the canine species, or other cats. But that's because I think she just doesn't want to share, like I said, the spotlight. She's not sharing the camera with me. And she's also not wanting to share a home with any other cats. She's kind of got the princess mentality of everything is hers, and when she has her human, she is the only one that her human is to dote on. So no kids, no cats, no dogs with that aspect, but she'd make a really great companion for somebody, like I said, as she's low energy. She can be very sweet. She's not a huge fan of being picked up, but otherwise she's a nice girl, and would make a great companion in a home with for low energy. My next guest here is Winnie the Pooh. This little guy is a guinea pig. We're not exactly sure on his age because he did come in as a stray. He came in along with 6 or 5 other guinea pigs. There were 6 total that were just kind of dumped over in West Ames underneath a pine tree. Thankfully, some neighbors had seen them and contacted us, and we were able to wrangle him up and get him here. He's definitely gained some weight since coming in. He's a little plump piggy. But we do have, so when you take care of a guinea pig, you got to make sure that they're getting the appropriate diet. So he is fed a pelleted food, of guinea pig food, and then also we give them Timothy hay. And that's just kind of at their discretion on how much that we eat. They give them a handful of it throughout their cage to just nibble on throughout the day, because they're just constantly nibbling. We also give them some romaine lettuce. We have parsley, some cilantro, and then also bell peppers. And then we've been giving them some zucchini squash as well, which he's already nibbled up on. But guinea pigs, you just have to be careful with making sure that they have enough vitamin C, an appropriate diet for their needs. But otherwise, they're pretty easy keepers. Winnie's actually pretty friendly compared to after being here for a while. He's one of my favorites. He's the only one that's left. He would go home with me, except for I have a doggy who would say he's more of a squeak toy than a companion pet. So that doesn't work. But he is kind of a snuggler too. And you can kind of see when you put him up by your neck, he'll kind of head bump you. And he'll nuzzle in right underneath my hair and on my neck. So he'd be a really good, great pet for kind of a first time pet for like a kid or something, because he is like I said, pretty easy to handle. Most guinea pigs at first, when you go into their cage to handle them, they do run because they are a prey animal. Winnie, after a while with me, he doesn't run. He just kind of sits there. He kind of knows, gotten to know who I am and that we're going to have some snuggle time. See, as he head bumps there. But he's a really sweet guy. Guinea pigs need to have, fresh water and food every day. They do like to have hidey holes, like I said, is that they're a prey animal. We do have a setup here that you can look at, how we do it. We would still say, based on our spacing of the shelter here, that a bigger kennel is always more preferred for them to be able to get out and exercise their legs. But what we have for their temporary home here is also something, that you can easily pick up, and then you can also add pick up at the pet store, but then also add to it, so they can be added to, and they can have different levels and stuff. For them to have a bigger cage and more variety in their home. Lots of enrichment and toys and things to chew on is always good. So having like toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls, those cardboard things, wooden toys and stuff to chew on, just making sure that there's not, certain type of paints or other things on it that could be harmful to them to eat. Most of those things you can get at a pet supply store that's appropriate for them to chew on. But a really great little companion pet to have in a home, especially with some spacing requirements. And then, they just need their kennels changed quite often. We do have links for different websites that you can go to regarding care of a guinea pig. But for the most part, once, I think the biggest challenge is just making sure that they have an appropriate space and making sure that they get the appropriate diet. So sometimes it's not always easy to get the fresh vegetables for them, or, it can get a little bit costly sometimes for some people. So just something to keep in mind, that they do need to have the available fresh vegetables along with that pelleted diet, as well as the hay. Unfortunately, most people who do have to surrender guinea pigs or rabbits end up with allergies. And what we found is that most of the time that ends up being because of that Timothy hay. So something to consider if you do have allergies is thinking about that ahead of time, and maybe exposing yourself to Timothy hay to know if you would be able to have a guinea pig. But this guy here does have kind of a wiry coat. He's a little bit different than some other guinea pigs that we've had, but it just makes him very unique. And once again, this little guy's name is Winnie the Pooh. So our last guest today, this here is Lady. This beautiful little thing is 10 months old. She is spayed and has had all of her vet work done. So she's microchipped, she's rabies vaccinated, all of her shots, all of the things. So she is ready to go to her forever home. She has shown to be good with men, women, and children, and other cats. We have not dog tested her yet, so if a home that would be looking for her that does have a dog, we can definitely test her here to kind of see what her reaction may be. She is a pretty easygoing little girl, though. She's got about a medium energy, though, so she does like to lounge around, but also can be very playful, and obviously loves to be petted and checked out. She's got a little bit of white on her chest and then belly, like kind of in her armpits. So she's got some unique markings, though, for a black kitty. Like even on her little toe beans here, she's got just a little bit of specks of white, which makes her very unique and cute. We're going to be playful. See, there's that medium energy coming out. So, like I said, she's 10 months old, so she's still young, still kind of got a little bit of that kitten in her. And she, but otherwise is very friendly, looking for adventure. So if you have another kitty in the home looking for a companion, or just want a kitty that's kind of willing to play, but also willing to sit around and cuddle, Lady would be your girl.
Well, that's our show for today. I want to thank Kathy for her willingness to step up and do the show today and show some of our furry friends. That was just 2 kitties and a guinea pig that we have available for adoption. Remember to keep an eye on our website at amesanimalshelter.org, and you can see all the adoptable animals that we have waiting for their forever homes. Thank you for watching.